Hello everyone and welcome to my channel Y&R Trends. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. In a shocking turn of events that sent shockwaves through Genoa City, the long-brewing tensions between Nikki Newman and Victor Newman reached a dramatic climax as the courthouse doors opened to yet another chapter of their never-ending saga, a battle that had spanned decades, weaving together betrayals, power plays, and heartbreaks. And as the courtroom filled with whispers and anticipatory glances, Summer, ever resourceful and determined, arrived bearing a small but pivotal USB drive that held the key to unraveling Victor's tightly guarded secrets that could dismantle the empire he had meticulously built. And with the judge presiding, the air thick with tension, Nikki sat poised yet anxious, her mind racing through all the strategies she had employed to get to this point. From painstakingly documenting evidence of Victor's manipulations to strategically aligning allies who could sway the opinion of those in power, and as Victor entered the courtroom exuding his trademark confidence and authority, the spectator sensed a rare vulnerability in him, a crack in his usually impenetrable armor, for he knew that Summer's arrival with the USB could tilt the scales in Nikki's favor, potentially exposing financial misconduct, hidden communications, and manipulative tactics that Victor had used to control both the Newman empire and his personal relationships. And the tension escalated as the attorneys presented their cases, weaving narratives of betrayal, resilience, and moral high ground. Nikki's lawyer meticulously outlined the documented evidence, each point punctuated with gravitas and strategic pauses that highlighted Victor's missteps and ethical lapses, while Victor's counsel fought fiercely, attempting to discredit witnesses, challenge the authenticity of documents, and appeal to the judge's sense of propriety. Yet every objection seemed to falter as Summer stepped forward, her hand steady despite the palpable pressure, and inserted the USB drive into the court system, revealing a trove of damning emails, financial records, and video recordings that chronicled Victor's attempts to manipulate outcomes, influence decisions, and undermine Nikki's autonomy. And the courtroom collectively held its breath as the evidence unfolded on the screens, each revelation hitting with the force of a gavel, punctuating years of struggle with undeniable proof, the expressions of shock and disbelief crossing the faces of Victor's allies, some shifting uncomfortably in their seats, others exchanging incredulous whispers, as the judge leaned forward, reading the contents with meticulous care, weighing the legitimacy of the evidence against legal precedents. And Nikki, a mix of relief and triumph in her eyes, felt a surge of empowerment she hadn't experienced in years, realizing that her persistence, patience, and unwavering resolve had finally yielded fruit. And as Victor tried to maintain composure, his usual bravado faltering under the weight of incontrovertible evidence, the tension reached a crescendo, the courtroom a stage where decades of familial drama, corporate intrigue, and personal vendettas converged. And with a solemn yet decisive tone, the judge acknowledged the impact of the evidence, noting how Nikki had not only presented a compelling legal argument but also demonstrated moral and ethical fortitude. And as the gavel came down, declaring Nikki the victor in the divorce proceedings, the atmosphere shifted, a mixture of astonishment, vindication, and the cathartic release of long-suppressed emotions washing over those present. And outside the courtroom, the reactions were equally intense, with onlookers, friends, and the media interpreting this as a historic defeat for Victor, a moment that could redefine his public image and personal relationships. And Nikki, ever composed, maintained grace and dignity, offering no gloating words, only the quiet satisfaction of someone who had fought tirelessly for recognition and justice. While Victor, humbled and visibly shaken, retreated, contemplating the repercussions not only for his empire but for the web of alliances and enmities he had cultivated over a lifetime. And as the dust settled, conversations buzzed about the strategic brilliance of Summer, whose timely intervention with the USB had tipped the scales in Nikki's favor, showcasing the enduring importance of family loyalty, courage in the face of adversity, and the power of information in shaping destinies. And in the days that followed, Genoa City would be abuzz with speculation, analysis, and the inevitable recalibration of relationships as Nikki's triumph became emblematic of the resilience and tenacity that had defined her life and her battles with Victor, with each character reflecting on the lessons learned, the alliances strengthened or fractured, and the ever-present reminder that in the world of the young and the restless, no victory is ever truly final, no defeat ever absolute. And yet in this particular moment, Nikki had orchestrated a masterstroke of legal and emotional strategy, transforming what many thought was an insurmountable challenge into a resounding victory, proving that even in a city driven by power, ambition and secrecy, integrity, persistence, and the right timing can prevail. And as she stepped out of the courtroom, the weight of years of struggle lifting from her shoulders, Nikki's triumph resonated not just as a personal victory, but as a testament to the intricate, relentless and often unpredictable tapestry of relationships, ambitions and moral complexities that define the enduring saga of The Young and the Restless, leaving viewers both stunned and satisfied, yet hungry for the inevitable ripple effects, the next moves, the evolving alliances, and the continuing drama that makes this series a cornerstone of American daytime television, where every action, every secret, and every revelation can alter lives in profound ways. And as Genoa City looked on, Nikki's victory stood as a symbol of empowerment, strategy, and the enduring human spirit, while Victor, humbled but not broken, plotted his next chapter, ensuring that the drama, intrigue, and emotional stakes of The Young and the Restless would continue to captivate audiences, demonstrating that even in defeat, the game is never truly over and every twist, turn, and revelation carries the potential to reshape destinies, alliances, and the very fabric of the Newman family legacy. And thus, in this monumental courtroom showdown, the USB drive, the courage of Summer, the resilience of Nikki, and the unraveling of Victor's carefully constructed persona converged to create an unforgettable episode, a masterclass in tension, strategy, and character-driven drama that will be remembered as one of the most iconic moments in the series' storied history, leaving both characters and viewers contemplating the cost of power, the value of truth, and the undeniable thrill of a well-executed final move that upended expectations and forever altered the landscape of Genoa City's most powerful family, ensuring that the echoes of this courtroom surprise will resonate through future episodes, shaping relationships, decisions, and the inexorable march of drama, intrigue, and suspense that has made The Young and the Restless a staple of American television, captivating audiences with its blend of emotional intensity, strategic maneuvering, and the eternal battle between love, loyalty, and ambition as Nikki, victorious yet contemplative, steps forward into a new chapter, one defined not by the shadow of Victor's dominance but by her own agency, courage, and unwavering determination to shape her destiny. A triumph that will reverberate across the Newman legacy and Genoa City alike, signaling to viewers that in this city of secrets, schemes, and surprises, even the most entrenched power can be challenged, the most cunning plots unraveled, and the most dramatic battles resolved, with ingenuity, timing, and the unbreakable spirit of those who refuse to be defeated, leaving audiences breathless, inspired, and eager for the next chapter of The Young and the Restless. As the courthouse emptied and whispers of Nikki's stunning triumph began circulating through Genoa City, the reverberations of the verdict rippled far beyond the walls of the courtroom, touching every corner of the Newman Empire and beyond, as friends, allies, and adversaries alike contemplated the profound implications of Victor's unprecedented defeat, with Sharon cautiously observing from a distance, her mind racing through the countless times she had witnessed the tension between Nikki and Victor escalate into explosive confrontations. And though Sharon had her own complicated history with both, she couldn't help but feel a measure of satisfaction at seeing Nikki emerge victorious after enduring years of manipulation, emotional turmoil, and relentless attempts by Victor to control her narrative and her legacy, while Phyllis, ever the strategist, immediately began calculating how this new development could shift alliances, leverage points, and opportunities within the corporate and personal spheres of Genoa City. Knowing full well that Victor's temporary setback would leave cracks in his empire, cracks she could exploit, and across town Jack Abbott, who had long been engaged in his own battles with Victor, felt a mix of vindication and curiosity, recognizing that Nikki's courtroom victory could redefine the balance of power in ways that would either align with or complicate his own ambitions. And as Jack reached for his phone to inform key contacts within Jabot and beyond, he couldn't suppress a smirk at the irony of Victor being bested by the one person who had endured the most under his dominance, Nikki, whose resilience, foresight, and courage had turned years of suffering into a defining moment of triumph. And yet, while the city buzzed with analysis, gossip, and speculation, Victor retreated to his office, the weight of the loss pressing down upon him in a way that was both familiar and unfamiliar. For while he had endured countless challenges, betrayals, and humiliations over the years, the public nature of this defeat, combined with the undeniable evidence Summer had presented, left him forced to confront vulnerabilities he often buried beneath layers of bravado, strategic planning, and ruthless control. And as he stared out over the city from the high-rise window of Newman Enterprises, memories of past conquests, manipulations, and the carefully curated perception of power surged through his mind, reminding him of the tenuous nature of influence, reputation, and loyalty in a city where allegiances shifted like the wind. And yet, even in the face of this setback, Victor's mind raced, plotting contingencies, strategizing countermeasures, and analyzing every piece of evidence, every reaction in the courtroom, and every potential angle to regain leverage. For defeat in Victor's lexicon was never final, only a temporary obstacle in a larger, unrelenting game. And as the day wore on, Nikki, accompanied by Summer, Phyllis, and a few trusted confidants, began the delicate process of consolidating her victory, reviewing the court documents, discussing next steps, and assessing how Victor's weakened position could be leveraged to not only secure her own interests but also to safeguard her children, legacy, and the moral high ground she had so meticulously fought to reclaim. And in private conversations, Summer was praised for her courage, resourcefulness, and impeccable timing, with Nikki acknowledging that, without the USB, without Summer's willingness to intervene at a critical moment, the outcome might have been dramatically different. And the two women shared a rare moment of camaraderie, understanding, and mutual respect, reflecting on the years of challenges, secrets, and obstacles that had brought them to this pivotal juncture, while Phyllis, ever calculating, began mapping the social and corporate fallout, identifying allies who might now align with Nikki, and evaluating the potential vulnerabilities in Victor's network, from discontented executives to family members quietly questioning his methods and motives. And as the media caught wind of the verdict, headlines exploded across print, television, and digital platforms, painting Nikki as a figure of empowerment, resilience, and moral fortitude, while Victor, the once untouchable titan of Genoa City, was portrayed in a moment of rare vulnerability, forced to reconcile the public perception with the private reality of his defeat. And as the story circulated, each character in the Newman orbit, Nicholas, Victoria, Adam, and even more distant relatives, found themselves reflecting on their positions, relationships, and strategies, knowing that the shifting balance of power would require careful maneuvering, recalibrated loyalties, and for some difficult choices about how to navigate a city where influence, information, and timing were everything. And even as Nikki savored the moment, she was keenly aware that victory in the courtroom was only one chapter in a larger, ongoing saga, where alliances could shift, secrets could resurface, and the very people she had relied upon could find themselves compromised, swayed, or tempted by the ever-present allure of power and opportunity. And as night fell over Genoa City, Victor convened a private meeting with his closest advisors, a gathering marked by tension, strategic intensity, and a shared understanding that recovering from this defeat would require precision, patience, and a willingness to exploit every advantage, while simultaneously contending with internal fractures, loyalty conflicts, and the increasingly public perception that even Victor Newman, the city's most formidable force, was not invincible. And in another part of the city, the extended Newman family, those caught in the crossfire of decades of conflict, alliances, and personal entanglements, began to process the implications, with some embracing Nikki's triumph as a moral and emotional victory, others contemplating how this shift would affect inheritances, influence, and long-term ambitions, and a select few quietly plotting ways to leverage the disruption for personal or professional gain, reflecting the complex, intertwined, and often unpredictable nature of Genoa City's social and corporate ecosystem. And through all of this, Summer emerged not just as a catalyst for Nikki's victory, but as a symbol of courage, initiative, and the ability of a single well-timed act to alter the course of events, reminding everyone that even in a city dominated by power, wealth, and ambition, intelligence, timing, and moral conviction could upend expectations, challenge authority, and create new possibilities for those willing to act decisively. And as days turned into weeks, the ramifications of the courtroom showdown continued to unfold, with Victor recalibrating his approach to family, business, and personal relationships, Nikki navigating newfound autonomy, influence, and moral authority, and the broader network of Genoa City's power players adapting to a landscape in which even the most calculated strategies could be disrupted by courage, timing, and the unanticipated actions of those previously underestimated. While the media continued to dissect every detail, fan speculation flourished, and the viewers of The Young and the Restless were treated to a masterclass in character-driven drama, strategic plotting, and the enduring appeal of a city where ambition, loyalty, secrecy, and morality intersect in ways that are as unpredictable as they are compelling. And as the ripple effects of the verdict continued to manifest, one thing became clear. The world of Genoa City would never be the same. The balance of power had shifted, and Nikki Newman, once again, had proven that resilience, strategy, and unwavering determination could not only overcome adversity but redefine the very parameters of influence, relationships, and destiny in a city where every move, every secret, and every revelation carried the potential to transform lives, ambitions, and the intricate tapestry of human drama that has made The Young and the Restless an enduring cornerstone of American television, captivating audiences with its blend of suspense, moral complexity, emotional intensity, and the endless interplay of power, love, betrayal, and redemption. And as the story continued to unfold, each character, whether emboldened, humbled, inspired, or threatened, was left to confront the consequences of actions taken, decisions made, and secrets revealed, ensuring that the narrative momentum would carry forward, rich with tension, intrigue, and the promise of further twists, revelations, and emotional climaxes that define the show's signature blend of serialized drama, character exploration, and relentless narrative suspense, and thus, the aftermath of the courtroom surprise, Summer's critical intervention, and Nikki's decisive triumph would not only shape the immediate trajectories of the Newman family but also serve as a testament to the power of courage, preparation, and the unpredictable dynamics of human ambition, ensuring that Genoa City remained a city alive with stories waiting to be told, alliances waiting to be tested, and destinies waiting to be realized, all while reminding viewers that in the world of The Young and the Restless, no victory is ever permanent, no defeat ever absolute, and the drama, intrigue, and emotional resonance of every decision, revelation, and strategy will continue to captivate, surprise, and enthrall audiences for generations to come. As Nikki, Victor, Summer, and the extended Newman family navigate the intricate, volatile, and endlessly compelling landscape of power, legacy, love, and rivalry that defines the heart of Genoa City and the enduring allure of daytime television drama. And as the series continues, the echoes of this pivotal moment, the USB, the courtroom surprise, and the decisive triumph over Victor, will ripple forward, influencing character arcs, shaping relationships, and setting the stage for future confrontations, alliances, and revelations, ensuring that the saga of The Young and the Restless remains a masterful interplay of human emotion, strategic maneuvering, and narrative suspense, captivating viewers with a story that is as timeless as it is thrilling. And as Nikki steps forward into this new era of empowerment, influence, and moral authority, the residents of Genoa City and audiences worldwide are reminded that in a city defined by secrets, ambition, and the relentless pursuit of justice, every action carries weight, every choice has consequences, and every revelation can redefine the balance of power, leaving them both breathless and eagerly anticipating the next chapter in a story that continues to define the very essence of daytime television drama, emotional intensity, and the intricate interplay of human ambition, resilience, and morality, as the saga of Nikki's victory, Victor's recalibration, and Summer's pivotal intervention becomes a defining moment in the ongoing tapestry of The Young and the Restless, one that will echo through future episodes, shaping narratives, testing loyalties, and reinforcing the timeless appeal of a city where drama, strategy, and human emotion collide in endlessly compelling ways. And as Genoa City adapts to the new balance of power, with every character from allies to rivals contemplating their next moves, plotting, aligning, or realigning, the stage is set for future confrontations, revelations, and triumphs, ensuring that viewers remain captivated by the intricate, unpredictable, and emotionally resonant storytelling that has made The Young and the Restless a cornerstone of American television, an enduring tale of love, ambition, rivalry, and redemption. And as Nikki embraces the consequences, opportunities, and responsibilities of her courtroom victory, the city watches with bated breath, fully aware that in Genoa City, the story is never truly over. Every choice matters, and the next move, the next secret, and the next revelation could redefine the destinies of all involved. In a drama where power, morality, and human emotion intertwine with breathtaking complexity, leaving audiences entranced, invested, and hungry for the next chapter in a saga that continues to captivate hearts and minds across generations.